Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another The Sports Scoop video. Today, we are bringing you guys our top 5 positional rankings for the NFL draft. Continuing the series, we're pushing out as much draft content as we really can, basically staying away from the NFL, at least the league itself, only bringing you guys college prospects. We did wide receivers, and now we are doing the players that defend them, top 5 corners in the NFL draft. So make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Podcast every Wednesday. By the time this is out, we might actually have a podcast already up, or it might be the day the podcast is going up. So make sure still comment any questions down below for our mailbag as well. Follow us on social media at The Sports Scoop on Twitter, Instagram, and join our Flick chat. You can follow us there at The Sports Scoop. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, let's get on to number 5. Where we have Asante Samuel Jr. from Florida State, 5'10", 184 pounds. Charlie, why do we have him here at number 5? What is there to like about him?
So I want to start by saying that this corner class is not super deep. So, of course, Asante Samuel, I think he's a great corner. But he's not as good as the number 5 corners we've seen in years past. I don't know exactly who the number 5 corner was last year, but I'm pretty sure he was better than Asante Samuel. It might have been someone like Jalen Johnson, or, just a more exciting prospect coming out of college. But I do think Asante Samuel has potential in the NFL. He's only 5'10", 184 pounds, so he's very undersized. But I think his athleticism makes up for that. He's got great ball skills as well. Super feisty for his size. He's super feisty, super aggressive. One problem with the aggression, of course, he can get grabby, resulting in penalties. The grabbiness, it's a problem because he's not going to get any taller. He's not going to get any bigger. So if he feels like he's outmatched, and receivers are getting taller, if he feels like he's outmatched going up against someone like DK Metcalf or Julio Jones, just a massive receiver like that who's like 6'4", he's giving up half a foot. And that's just, you don't want to have him matched up against someone like that. And if you do, he can get grabby. That lack of height just creates such big mismatches. But I think he's a good corner. He's got great balls. Technically, he's very, very good.
Yeah, and we're not a negative we're not going Asante Samuel sucks. He's number 5. Obviously, he's number 5 for a reason. I mean, he's a good cornerback. Yeah, obviously, as Charlie said, very, very good ball skills. Someone who can get to the ball, has a lot of passes defended in his years at Florida State. Again, I mean, his size is a big problem. As we've stated, corners are getting bigger going to the NFL. You look at some of the other ones, 6'2", 6'1", over 200 pounds. He's, 5'10", and, probably 20 pounds, 15 pounds under the size of most of the other higher cornerbacks here. But again, it doesn't take away. I think he can be a great slot guy, a great outside guy. I believe he played both at Florida State. He's a very athletic guy. With being small, there is advantages. He's very fast. He's very, very, very good at backpedaling. Very good burst of speed, so can stay with faster slot guys like a Tyreek Hill, like a Henry Ruggs, and like a Jalen Waddle when he goes into the league. So I do like Asante Samuel. Again, he's at 5 just due to there are a lot of question marks there.
If you look at, again, with that height, if you look at a lot of the top corners in the league, if you look at like Jalen Ramsey, 6'1", Stephon Gilmore, 6'1", J.C. Jackson, 6'1", and Xavier Howard, I believe, is also 6'1". But there are also smaller corners in the league. Like, I think arguably the number 1 or 2 corner in the league, Jair Alexander, is only 5'10". Right. So there is still potential there. I don't mean that his size is such a big weakness that he can't overcome it, can't be a Pro Bowler. He can. We've seen Jair Alexander do it. But yeah, as you said, his great ball skills. I think that there's a reason he's at number 5. But moving on to number 4, we have Greg Newsom. Cian, what do you like about Greg Newsom?
Really, I mean, we've recorded this video, I believe we're tried to at least 3 times, and the more and more we've waited on it, I've started to like Greg Newsom a lot more. Coming out of Northwestern, so 2 inches on Asante Samuel, that's 6 feet, 192 pounds. So still, I mean, he has the height. I guess that's the average height, I would say, for corners, but a bit small. If you can get again closer to 200 pounds now in the NFL, it definitely gives a big upside. But very, very good strength and physicality and press coverage. Someone who really can lock down corners in a cover 3, in a press coverage, someone who really is good, very good at gaining depth, backpedaling, something we actually do see. I mean, the corner class might not be deep, but they are very good at backpedaling, as you will see, which is an important need for a press coverage corner. Take smart angles when tackling, good when your corner is good at tackling, someone who can go into an aggressive defense and be someone who can tackle big running backs in the open field. Weaknesses, lateral bursts are just average, I would say. Again, that's not as much of a need, I would say, as a corner, but it is still something that needs to be improved upon. And he, again, like Cian and Charlie, a lot of penalties, 15 penalties his career, 7 penalties in his last 14 games, so that needs to be touched up upon. And again, for corners, that is very concerning, especially since it's a very hard thing to translate into the NFL. But I think getting more strength off blocks, and if he can touch up those weaknesses, I think Greg Newsom could be one of the best corners, if not the best corner in this class. I think he has all the tools.
I just looked it up because I was interested. The average height for an NFL corner is 5'11". Right. So Asante Samuel, he's not much under it, but Greg Newsom is over it, and the average height for a wide receiver is 6'1". So as close as you can get to that 6'1" mark, the better. And if Greg Newsom's 6 foot, he doesn't need to be any taller. He has the height, he has the weight to be one of the top corners in the league. And as you said, that smooth back pedal, great, super smart player. I think that's his main strength. He's just a very smart, the way he plays, the way he tackles, the way he uses his aggressiveness in press coverage. But then again, all of these college players, they have their weaknesses. That lateral burst, we're not saying it's bad, but it's just average. It's just not exceptional. It's just not at the level you want it to be at for a Pro Bowler at corner. I think he's just a good corner all around. I think that you can't really go wrong with this Greg Newsom pick because he should be a consistent corner at the very least. All right, moving on to the number 3 corner. At this point, you probably know who the top 3 are. But out of South Carolina, I think this is a debatable one. We have J.C. Horn. Cian, what do you think?
I don't know, Charlie. No, I'm joking. I have JC as my number 2, and I think arguably he could be the best corner in this draft class. Clocked in at about, I was watching his pro day. He has a YouTube channel. He ran at, I think, a 4.39, which is very fast. Looking at the fast receivers that are coming out of the draft, Bateman ran a 4.39, Waddle ran a 4.38, Tony ran a 4.4, so he's really, can keep up. And, I mean, this guy's an athletic freak, 6'1" and 205 pounds. I mean, if you have a corner who's running a 4.39 and has that size, there is nothing in the way of them becoming an incredible corner in the league. Athletic, as I said, great size, plays physical football. I mean, this guy is a mean dude. If you watch him on the field, he absolutely, if you were to watch football tape and know nothing, you would immediately know he bullied Seth Williams in the Auburn game. One of the best tapes I've seen from a corner, at least in college, for as long as I've been watching. I believe he had 2 picks, had an incredible pass defended in the red zone, someone who's aggressive and really good, and someone who does get penalties, I would say, but not at the rate you would think he would as someone of his aggressiveness. Again, really bad in zone, so he is very scheme dependent, which I think is something that could rank him down quite a bit. But I still think he's a great corner. I think J.C. Horn has potential to be the best corner in this class, and he just seems like a mean dude who can go into a defense and be a playmaker.
Yeah, so I really like J.C. Horn. I think he's a great player, don't get me wrong. But the only reason that I have him at 3 is not because I don't think he can be 1 or 2, but because I think the 1 and 2 are so incapable of being that 3. I think that the 1 and 2 are just enough better than him that I would rank them higher. So I think, of course, J.C. Horn, great corner. As you said, that Auburn game, he was incredible. But I think those were his only 2 picks all season, which obviously, not as many picks for each player in college. Only 2 picks that season, possibly even the season before. He didn't have any. But, again, he's not great in zone. Great man-to-man corner, really physical in man coverage, but the reaction time in zone coverage, that's what you need to have, and he just doesn't have it as much. And I think that, again, as you said, the scheme dependency is really, it's a problem for NFL scouts, for NFL GMs, because even if somebody was choosing between J.C. Horn and Greg Newsom, who we have at number 4, they know that their coach is a coach that comes out 75% of the time in man coverage on defense. He's going to be more likely to lean towards J.C. Horn if he comes out in man coverage more. But if he comes out in zone coverage, then you have actually a toss-up. And I think Greg Newsom might even be the way to go if you're a team that prefers zone coverage, because zone coverage is just a hard thing to learn. It's not easy. But I really like J.C. Horn as a corner. He's super athletic, really physical guy, super explosive, very fast. But yeah, I think that he could be a really, really solid corner in the NFL.
Moving on to the top two, number two, you guys know who it is. Maybe not ranking wise, but we have Charlie's guy, who I still do love, so no hate for him. Caleb Farley, Virginia Tech corner, opted out this season, clocking in at 6'2", been only playing corner for I believe 2-3 years. Charlie, what is there to love about Farley coming into this draft?
I think that it's what to love is he's 6'2", makes him taller than most of the best corners in the NFL and the tallest corner in this draft, but of the top 5. He still has really good speed. 6'2", you would think that if you match him up with someone like DK Metcalf, who God knows how he's like 6'4", yet still runs a sub 4.35 40.
Oh my God, that's insane.
I mean DK Metcalf is so fast. He's a whole different monster. But Caleb Farley, he's got the size, he's got the speed. It's hard to knock him down because of all the talent that he has. I know he didn't play this season, he missed his pro day, which, yes, those are big problems, but those are things that can be fixed. Missing a season can be fixed. It was only a college season. It's not like he was 5 years into the NFL and that season off is going to throw him off by so much. But I think that put him in the game. He is big, he's fast, explosive, he's super confident, he's good in press coverage, he's got a good change of direction, amazing in man coverage. Because of that size, though, he can play zone coverage as well. Reaction time is great. He's also got the brain of a receiver. I didn't know this, but he played receiver in high school, so footwork-wise, he can think about that better. But in 2019, possibly one of the best corners of the sophomores. He was one of the best corners, but incredible passer rating in 2019. But Cian, why would you think that he's number 3?
And I don't disagree, I would say, with having Farley at 2. I think Farley could be the best corner. I mean, this guy has literally all the tools to do it. I mean, probably the most athletic corner in this draft. Only been playing corner for 2 years and has been incredible. But in terms of corners especially, I love seeing tape and as much of it as I can get. And Caleb Farley doesn't have much, and I care about that. Unless you're Jamar Chase, I don't like seeing someone opt out. Because Jamar Chase, whatever, he didn't have much to prove. He wasn't going to have Joe Burrow. His numbers were going to be put up. But I think Farley had something to prove if he were to play this year with Virginia Tech. Again, he didn't. I know probably, he had back surgery, missed his pro day. I think he had multiple surgeries, so injuries, again, are concerning. But, I mean, this guy's a physical freak. Not jittery in press coverage, someone who, when you're pressing the man, he's not grabbing. He's not jumping too early. He's not trying to, cut the route if it's a cutback route. He's not someone who bites at routes. He's very calm and knows how to backpedal, which is great. I think he can fit on a lot of teams. I think scheme dependency, he can play everywhere. As Charlie said, he can play zone, he can play man, so he's very, very versatile. Weaknesses, again, with size comes some weaknesses. He's not as low to the ground when he does backpedal, so that needs to be improved upon. Getting lower, being able to stay at the receiver's level. And flashy blitzer, but not the type of guy that's very good at stopping the run. So again, if he's that nickel blitz and he comes into blitz and the running back gets handed the ball, he's not the type of guy who you can trust 100% of the time to tackle him in open field. But I do like Caleb Farley. I think, again, the top 3 corners, really all 3 of them, you could put at 1. You could put Horn at 1, and I'd be like, all right, I don't agree, but I could see that. You could put Farley at 1 and be like, yeah, again, I can see it. And I think Caleb Farley's great.
Yeah, I mean, again, with Caleb Farley, and also this opting out of 2020, I think that although opting out is not great for your draft stock, I think that everybody's got something to prove. And I know Jamar Chase, if he could have put up the same numbers that he put up last year, this year without Joe Burrow, miracle. I think that would have knocked his draft stock up so much. And I know it can't go up that much because he's already probably a top 5 pick, but it could have even put him into contention for top 3. Like, it could have secured that number 3 pick with the Dolphins instead of Penei Sewell or Kyle Pitts, whoever it was. But I think that, yes, Farley had something to prove, and it's not great for his stock that he opted out. But also, I looked it up, and DK Metcalf, 6'4", runs a 4.33 40-yard dash. That's crazy, but Caleb Farley does it even faster. There's a clip from Adam Schefter, 6'2", and he ran a 4.28 40-yard dash.
Oh my God.
Last year, Henry Ruggs, the fastest receiver in the draft, ran a 4.27.
Caleb Farley ran a 4.28.
It doesn't get much better than that for a corner. That puts him as one of the fastest. If he runs it during the combine, a 4.28.
And during game, because
that puts him as one of the fastest 40-yard dash in all time, possibly the fastest of any corner ever.
Yeah.
A 4.28, that's incredible. Add on his 6'2" height. That's why I have him at number 2 over J.C. Horn.
Does not get much better than that. We're going on to number 1. We have, who it is, Alabama corner Patrick Surtain, who I just saw recently mocked at number 4 to the Falcons. So Joe Morley, if you're watching this, I saw that. All tools to be a lockdown corner at 6'2". Again, looks closer to 6'1". Charlie, why is he number 1? Is he deserving of it?
I think we need to have a little bit of talk, because I thought we had Patrick Surtain out of the top 5. I thought this was Javon Holland's spot. I think we got a little
might have been a mistake.
Hang on, guys, 1 second. Cut that out. Just kidding. Okay, so Patrick Surtain at number 1. What's there not to like? He is absolutely locked down when it comes to just about everything there is. He's good in both man. He's good in zone. He's more of an outside corner because of that size, and he's not super athletic in terms of his speed, but he's physical and he's smart where he uses his physicality. I think with a few of the other corners we saw, like J.C. Horn and Greg Newsom and Asante Samuel, penalties are a problem. With Sertan, you don't need to worry about that. And I'm also not worried about his speed. I know what was his 40 time? It was
it's slow. I think it's
just under a 4.5, right?
Or under 4.5, yeah.
I think it was like a 4.48 he ran, which is not slow, but it's not up to NFL standard. However, it doesn't concern me because a lot of corners you would think need to have speed to play press coverage. However, Patrick Surtain played the most snaps of any corner in college football at press coverage. The most in press coverage of any corner in the NFL. I know just in college, I know I just repeated myself, but that shows me that the speed's not so much of a concern. He can hang with him if he needs to. He probably has that burst. We know he has that burst to keep up if he has to. I think that there's just no going wrong with Patrick Surtain. He has so much boom as well. A lot of the times with the players that you think there's no going wrong, they have a lower ceiling and a higher floor. But I think with Surtain, he's got both a higher floor and a higher ceiling. I just think that there's no way you can go wrong with Surtain. What do you love the most about Surtain?
I love his dad a lot.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
He was a great corner. But talking about Patrick Surtain, the second six, I mean, again, you guys have been watching at least non-edited 19 minutes of this video. We're not going to, if you watch college football, he went 916 snaps without committing a penalty. That's absurd. This guy has everything. He has the tools to be a lockdown corner, and I mean, there's not much really against him. He's besides speed, which really didn't seem to be a problem, at least in college, has speed to get out to receivers. Very good at closing windows. So when that ball is released, he's very good at turning his head around, noticing that, and getting to the ball and defending that pass from getting caught. Patrick Surtain, I mean, very talented cornerback. But that will end it for our top 5 corners. If you guys did enjoy, do make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are we're on the road to 1,500 subscribers. So if you could help us get there, go click it down below. Would mean the absolute world. Podcasts every Wednesday, and all of our social medias at The Sports Scoop. This was Cian McDermott and my host, Charlie Nidell. We will see you in our next video. Thank you guys so much for watching.